According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. Dry tropic. These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for exhibition purposes. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
What should we do next?
Dry trop. There is a smell of burning. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens. A door handle? Why would it throw such a thing into the fire? The door handle to the Colonial Collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material. The remains of a picture frame. A broom handle was burned. Detective mask. Someone set it alight, but it did not burn. The plants were set alight fairly recently, have not completely burned.
Look, Holmes, this charming lady must be Miss White. She's entering the seed house.
Colonial Collection. Nursery. Seed house. Ventilation system. Dry tropic. Palm house. Water lily. Director's office. Nursery. Locked. Seed house. Open.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir, and good day to you too, but...
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honoured to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honour.
How well did you know Mr. Montague?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Miss, none of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious. Nursery. Locked. 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 Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Never interested in Kew Gardens before, and now all of a sudden he's trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. Experience? No, none at all.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and he well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was?
Oh, yes. He forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to praise him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while they were speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue investigation. Do you hold the keys to all of these doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon. Newspapers discuss Kew Gardens. Champagne. Montague Dunn had good taste. French wine, a remarkable vintage. A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish. Locked. There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory. Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose. Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals. Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing. A botany book. This student's book to Albert. Chemicals, a sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. A study report by Martin Hamish. Study. This is a tool for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it. open. Miss White's locker. These jewels must be worth a small fortune. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student. A draft that Miss White sent to her parents. A vanity purse. It is of high quality. Martin Hamish's locker. Father and I. 2 gardens. A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces. Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting. Albert's locker. Specialist articles on shipyards and construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea. A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College. A picture of White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery. We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. A thesis written by Martin Hamish. A glasses case. It is empty. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office. An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish. It is a bust of Montague Dunn. I am curious if the marble that we found will fit this. Here it is. The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial Collection Room is what they have in common. The seeds of plant species are stored here. A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings. A water tank.
Kew Gardens is such an exciting place, wouldn't you agree?
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
Was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the fine port. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father. So it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
There is a Montague Dunn in the nursery.
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
Why in that room, in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
There is a bust of Montague Dunn in the nursery.
A bust?
But what?
Oh, I don't... It has always been there.
It is strange, because I recovered a fragment of the bust inside the Colonial Collection Room.
Really? Oh, well, so I am mistaken. It ought to have been removed during the clean-up. This room is so small.
Do you know who moved it?
I have no... Surely Mr. Dunn requested it. Do you have any more questions like this? Because fragments of rock are not my responsibility.
Evident. Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall... I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future here has never been about anything else.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected you.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin us, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Young man, we shall see you again soon.